Hi, I'm going to talk to you about special education interviews that I did. I interviewed a special education resource and collaborative teacher at the high school level, a para at the high school level, and then one of the associate principals at the high school. Some interesting facts that I found were that many of the answers were on the same line, no matter what the job title was. And then administrators had the least to say. I don't know if he was in a hurry and as you'll see in some of the questions, they depend a lot on the case manager, department chair, and the paras to actually implement the plans that are agreed to. So they don't always have a part in all of that. And then the third thing was that most of the answers were student-centered, no matter what the job title was. The first one was, what was the most challenging part of your job? The teacher said that a large amount of responsibility in addition to classroom tasks, and they don't have additional time, especially for co-planning, which is a big complaint with our special education teachers. And then the general ed teacher not understanding that you have to change some things in order to meet a student's needs. The para said filling in for absent paras in a certain content area that you're not familiar with, and also dealing with behavior plans of students that you don't normally work with, and you're substituting with that student. The administrator said making sure that students with special needs are being served appropriately and that we are following the law in doing so. What's the most rewarding part of your job? The teacher said when the light bulb goes off, and then also when parents recognize what you're doing and that it's beneficial to their student and appreciate and thank you for doing that. The para also said seeing the students achieve a goal that we have set for them, or even the smaller victories that they actually lasted the whole block in a class, which is for some students a great feat. And then the administrator said seeing things work with students, and then also when parents participate and actually have input into the IEP. What advice did they all have on supervision of special education staff? The teacher said listen, mainly, and then be proactive versus reactive. Let's set things up so that the staff is successful and are doing the right things for students so that we don't have to correct things down the road. And then everyone has a story, each situation has a side, but our main focus always needs to be the students and doing what's best for them. The para said it has helped this year for her using the Remind app for any schedule changes of the paras, coverage for meetings, those kinds of things. And then she would appreciate quarterly para meetings and frequent eval walkthroughs instead of just doing an evaluation when it comes time and whoever's doing the evaluation hasn't actually seen them in their day-to-day work with students. And then the administrator said that he leans heavily on his department chair and knowing the process of the IEP as well as the caseload list. Working with parents, the teacher said large amounts of communication. They always have to know what's going on and what you're working on, those kinds of things. And then gather and appreciate their input, especially when it comes IEP time. What do they want for their student? What goals do they have? The para said that she leaves communication up to the case manager or teacher, which is what paraprofessionals in our district have been directed to do. They do not talk with parents about progress or behavior, those kinds of things. The administrator said know the special education laws, know the IEP process, and then they work closely with the case managers. What advice did they all have for a first-year administrator? The teacher said don't lose touch with being a teacher. continue to have relationships and communicate with teachers, and then take the time when possible just to talk to people, and then trust your teachers. Have faith that you have hired good teachers and that they know what they're doing, and trust them to do that. The para said be professionally personable and hands-on. So again, get out, talk to people. The administrator also said talk to people, ask questions, admit things when you don't know, and offer to find the answer if you don't know what it is. And again, listen, which has been kind of a common theme. How would they describe the roles of special education teacher and the building principal? The teacher said, the special ed teacher knows the student better than the principal, so that they need to work together and respect each other's input, and communicate. And then build relationships with administration. They are part of the IEP team. The para mentioned some characteristics that she sought in both, which were passionate, caring, involved, kind, and open-minded. Just having people that actually care about what they're doing in their job. And the administrator said special education teacher knows the student's needs, services, accommodations, so the principal needs to work with that special ed teacher to do what's best for the students. What characteristics would they seek in a special education administrator? The teacher said trust, compassion, actually knowledgeable about the IEP, the behavior intervention plan, accommodation, modification. And don't just look at students as behavior issues. There's usually more to the story than meets the eye. And they need to check and see what that is before they make any judgments. And then have flexibility in curriculum delivery. Again, the para had kind of the same qualities as she had with the teacher and the principal. And the administrator actually had the same things too, knowing the law, good communication skills to help him navigate special education, and then knowledge of resources to pass to his teachers. And then no matter what our mindset is regarding special education students, we all must work together to help these students achieve and meet all the goals that are set for them. And I think with these three people, we kind of had that mindset moving through all of the questions, that the students are first, and we need to work through our differences, troubles, those kinds of things to do what's best for them. Thank you.